Welcome friends to what's going to be my very last Tarkir Dragonstorm draft. I'm Nico aka Another MTG, always trying to make the magic happen on my journey to become a better drafter. So without further ado, let's draft. So we have All Out Assault. That's kinda nice. Creatures get +1/+1 and have Death Touch when it enters. If there's an additional combat phase. Yeah, sure, that's a pretty good Mardu rare, so I think that's the best card in the pack. There's also Sipsig Appraiser, which I do love. Maybe it's even a better pick actually. Not too sure, but this can change games. So let's pick up the All Out Assault, and to follow that up, we could just take the Mardu Monument. So we could still decide if those decks are open, either the Boros or the Orzhov deck. We can go there. I think those cards are okay, but not the best ones. And also the whole pack's kinda mediocre, nothing interesting. Maybe Champion of Dusan or River Wheel, but Mardu Monument it is. And here's a Stormplane Detainment, super nice follow up actually. I do prefer white over black because there's also a Caustic Exhale, I know. There's also a super nice green removal spell, but I think those are kind of the same value, so picking the white one is the much better choice for me at the moment. So let's see. Now we got some blue cards. We have a Swiftwater Cliff. We have a Dragonclaw Strike and a Dragonstorm Forecaster, which is a cool card. There's also Delta Bloodflies, which we could take if we want to go Mardu if it's open, but I don't really love the card. So I think actually the Dragonclaw Strike or Dragonstorm Forecaster is the better pick. I'd say Forecaster, why not? Let's see what else will come. Here we have a Rebellious Strike, a Dragonback Lancer, and a Reigning Victor. And I do think I want the Rebellious Strike. Maybe no, you know what? Reigning Victor it is. It's a super solid card in all those decks. So let's pick it up here. So at the moment it looks pretty Mardu-ish, but we don't have any creatures except for the Victor. Here's a Defibrillating Current. Here's Bearer of Glory as well, and a Nightblade Brigade. I do believe that the Bearer of Glory is actually the best card. Well, Defibrillate, I do like the current, but I think Bearer is just more important, especially because we don't have any creatures so far. Let's see. Pack 1, pick 7. Hey, wow, we have some super nice Boros cards coming our way. Either Wayspeaker Bodyguard, but I think Coordinated Maneuver or Underfoot Underdogs. I'll just take the maneuver and hope for but you know what? We don't have any creatures, so we need the creatures. And Wayspeaker Bodyguard is really nice. Tap target creature whenever I flurry. Let's take this Bodyguard, just because it has solid stats as well. And here's another Stormplane Detainment versus a Furious Forebear. I don't love the Forebear that much. It can be killed pretty easily. It's an aggressive card, but I do think Stormplane Detainment is just, a second one is just really nice, especially at this point. So I'm putting the Forecaster here into the sideboard. And here's another Rebellious Strike versus an Alchemist's Assistant, which is a very nice card. And we do lack creatures. I do hate to pass that strike here. I don't love black, but it's a pretty cool, it's a pretty clear sign. So we can try to stay as white as possible and only splash black and red just for the Victor and the All Out Assault. Here's another Victor, making me pretty happy. So, and here's a Delta Bloodflies, which I think is actually the versus, yeah, you know what, the Stormshriek Feral. That has modality, but Yeah, I'm not sure if I want to play it. And here's a mobilize card. Okay, so we are Mardu, which makes me kind of happy, especially for my last deck. So here's a 2-drop, 2-drop. And here's the United Battlefront. Nothing that's interesting. Another Stormplane Detainment. And you know what? Also a coordinated maneuver. But that also destroys an enchantment. But this just target non-land permanent. It's just a slightly more solid card. So I will be picking up that. Because there's no interesting creature actually here. So I'm pretty happy. Removal wise, it's looking good so far. By the way, friends, if you're enjoying this so far, why don't you show some love by hitting that like or subscribe button down below. It helps the channel grow and I'd appreciate it a lot. Another Stormplane Detainment versus a Rebellious Strike. You know what? I'll just keep taking the best removal spells. I don't love the Marshal of the Lost. When you attack a target creature gets +X/+X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. Well, it's cool. So we can go Orzhov. But no one, if no one takes it, it will get wheeled. So I think I still want the detainment here. I do prefer that. And maybe we get the Marshal back if no one else is in Orzhov, which I do believe. And we just splash for the Victor and for the All-Out Assault. That's a very splashable card. Victor is also cool. I'm not sure about the Stormshriek Feral though. But so far, it's looking cool. We have one. Okay, here's the Baron Step Siege. You know what? I'll just keep taking those cards, but this will also probably return. And I'll just take the Mardu Devotee. Enables the splash and make sure we get to cast the stuff we have. This is it game changing? Like, we need more creatures. We don't have enough creatures here so far. This is also a tri-land in our colors. Baron Step Siege. I'm speculating on maybe it will get back. It come back. Not sure though. I think I wanna take it, but this is just Mardu Devotee is pretty solid. I need it here. And here's a Inevitable Defeat. Also on the splash, I think the Marshal of the Lost is now the better pick. Maybe even the Caustic Exhale, but we do looking at our creature count, and we are an aggressive deck, so we need those creatures. Here's a Strategic Betrayal, a Delta Bloodflies, and you know what? I'll just take this because we could play it. Even though it's the first card I'm happily swapping for something else, I'll take the Caustic Exhale just to have another solid removal spell here. 5 removal spells so far, 4 of them being Stormplane Detainments. Here's a Sandskitter Outrider. I don't like that card. It's just way too expensive. I think Lancer is just better. Better stats, but I'll take it and put it on my love to swap for something better pile. And here's a Wayspeaker Bodyguard, but there's also an Absent Devotee, and that is what I want. I can return it. It makes the black and white mana, so that's a good card for my deck. And here's that got wheeled. That's no wonder. Nothing interesting here. I'll take the tri-land, a dual land. And wait on the next pack here coming my way. So far, I have a good feeling about the deck. I would love to have some more mobilize stuff. But actually, I feel kind of good about it. That card's good. That card's good. That card's good. And here's the Rebellious Strike versus the Kintry Nurturer. Do we want that, or do we just want the Rebellious Strike as a combat trick? Yeah, and it replaces itself by making me draw a card. Here I'll take the Bloodflies, why not? It's flying at least. And here's the Arashian Sunshield. So we have 23 cards already. Let's pick the Bucket Highland. And now I can't wait to see what pack 3 will contain. Okay, we got a second All-Out Assault. That's kind of cool. But we also got an offensa. Flash first strike. I think on the splash, what's better? Flash first striker or all out assault? Additional combat phase. That's actually kind of really cool. But an offensa or Mardu Monument. That's a tough spot here. But I think just buffing all my creatures, giving them death touch is kind of cool. That's a nice finisher card. So pick it up, and I'm happy about that. Now we have Surgo's Vanguard, but I want to just focus more on the... Now I need to focus on the splash here, so I'd love to find another Mardu Monument. That is super nice. 1, 2 sources. Also Voice of Victory. And that's just too good to pass on. Mobilizing 2, I think. But is it what does the deck need? I think the deck needs the Mardu Monument much more than it needs to bear a Voice of Victory. And yeah, gotta be reasonable about this pick. So 2 Mardu Monuments is exactly what I want. Here's another Mardu Devotee. Things couldn't go better. And also a Bloodfell Caves, but I want the Devotee because it does the same thing. Plus it's a creature, so I don't lose any time. And here's another Absent Devotee, making me kinda happy. Making me pretty happy. So we can cut those cards that are shitty. We have 1 land, so we need to cut 1 card here, and I'll just cut a Dragonback Lancer. For now, we have a War Effort. Wow. I think what the deck's missing is cheap stuff. So I don't want the Dragonback Lancer. I want to swap some things like this for some cheaper stuff. Maybe even a card like this, but War Effort is just too good to pass on. So I'm not passing that on. And here I'll take the Nomad Outpost. Just again enabling the splash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have a good feeling about it. Now we just could use some more small 2/2s like this. Yeah. Let's just take this card. 26, so still cut 1 card. I think the Sun Shield is just not the... Oh, and another Mardu D. Wow. So we're gonna be able to cast our shit. Nice. Super nice about that. That makes me pretty happy. 1 tap land, 2 tap lands. Maybe we don't need the Scoured Barrens, because we want to be an aggressive deck, and this will just find us the stuff we need. And here's the Tempest Hawk, which I... will take. Well, you know, this is 3 mana mobilize 1, and this is just another removal spell. 6 removal spells. But let's just take it, why not? Let's just take it. Gains us 2 life as well. And here's the Bloodfell Caves. We gotta be sure on the splash, so I think I'll take the caves and put out the Scoured Barrens, because I don't want to have too many tap lands in that deck. So let's put out the Scoured Barrens. Let's do a final check. Final check if the deck is cool. Like this, we need to cut 3 more cards. Do we want to play 2 all-out assaults? I do believe so. Yes, sir. I also think, well, yeah, those will be fine. I think the deck is pretty solid. What's the cards to cut? Maybe the Nightblade Brigade. Maybe the 1 Absent Devotee. No, you know what? The Lightfoot Technique. I don't need that. And maybe the just 2 Mardu Monuments, because I want to have some more creatures. I only have 11 creatures, which is not a lot for an aggro deck, but we do have some Mobilize synergy. So I think let's just give it a shot. Hope this works. Hope this works, and maybe cut the Bodyguard. Return target non-land permanent from a graveyard to your hand. You know what? No, let's just cut 1 Mardu, or maybe even a land. We have 3 tap lands, which I don't love. So let's play it like this. That is 10, 15, 17 lands. I think we can cut 1 swamp. Okay, 16 lands, and play the Mardu Monument. like this. Okay, that's how I want to play it. That's how I want to play it. If you want to watch the games, click on the link in the description, or just here, I'll put the video right here for you to watch. And thanks for watching and have a nice day.